Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Thursday, April 10th. It is 6:21 right now. We have market opening up in about 9 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, let me go ahead and send this link out to you guys here. All right, guys, as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. A lot of liquidity to the top end. Down to the 1 hour. Going to the 30 minute. Going down to the 15 minute. Going down to the 10 minute. And back down to the 1 minute here. All right, looks like we are good to go. So good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, April 10th. It is 6:25 right now. We have market opening up in about 5 minutes. I've just marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity above is at 40,349. This is probably going to get hit here pre-market. So the next level above it is 40,372. The closest level below is at 40,194. And those are the two closest levels of liquidity to current price. Yeah, we got market opening up shortly. I'll know the direction of the breakout in about 4 minutes. Other than that, so we're about good. Morning, Lilo. Morning, Steven. Morning, everybody. One thing that I wanted to mention, guys. One second. One thing that I wanted to mention is yesterday. Let me see if I have a link for that. Where did I see that yesterday? Yeah, I didn't really notice this, but I'm trying to remember where I saw it. But yesterday, before market open, Trump actually tweeted that it was a good time to buy. So like that kind of screwed with the breakout yesterday because obviously Trump said to buy and the price went skyrocketing up. So I was wondering why price skyrocketed up. I knew it was because of the tariffs were starting to balance out, but I did see somewhere. Let me see if I can just Google it and probably find it. Like basically, Trump tweeted yesterday, "Good time to buy now" or something like that. From Time to buy. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so if you guys remember yesterday, for the breakout, it was supposed to be for a sell. And see, like he tweeted this yesterday morning. Trump offers buy tip on social media hours before tariff pause that made stocks soar. And this is kind of what happened yesterday on open. Um, what I started to realize, well, I mean, it's always been sort of important, but what I started to realize yesterday is that the news is really important, guys. Like it's a lot more important than people may realize because I could already see the cycle that we're in. So like we go through this cycle where the tariffs come out and price comes down, and then there's like a fake news where it pushes price up, and then Trump's like, no, it's not, it's fake news, and it comes back down, and then the actual news comes out the next day and it comes right back up. So it's like kind of something like a huge head and shoulders like this. And I think this cycle is going to keep repeating. I think, the next 90 days, the same thing's going to happen when the tariffs go active again. It's going to drop and something's going to happen that causes price to go up and then it comes back down and then the tariffs go on another pause. So this is kind of the pattern that comes up and that's been coming up every time tariff news comes out. So it's just something to look out for. Instead of a huge dump, look for a possible big range to be established. Again, we had news this morning at 7:30, which was CPI data. It was all negative and continuing jobless claims. So we had that news that came out right there at 5:30. We have more news at, let's see, this is low impact news. So we have more news coming out later today, but it's all low impact news. So the news event that really matters the most would be the one that came out over here at 5:30. You guys can see from this 5:30 candle, it was a huge candle. It was about a 300-point candle right there with the CPI data. CPI data was negative, but it still shot up pretty heavily. So liquidity right here just got knocked out, guys. Just like we mentioned earlier, this is what was expected. We've got the market opening up in about 2 minutes. It looks like the direction of the breakout may possibly be a sell today. AR, morning. Morning, Sam. Yeah, Sam said, hi, man, that rally, Trumpify. Exactly. So we'll see what happens today. Again, the ATR is actually not super bad today. It's down to 44. So I'm going to see what the ATR looks like if the market opens up. If the ATR stays pretty low, then I'll probably drop my TP stop loss from 75 to maybe 50. But it looks like we're starting to stabilize with regard to market volatility. So guys, the direction for the breakout today is going to be a sell if anybody's looking to take that. I'll come back and take a look at this a little later once market is kind of balanced out. Again, if you guys want to do 50-50, feel free to do 50-50. If you think that's too tight, you can go ahead and do 100-100. It's up to you, whatever you guys are feeling like doing. So I will come back and take a look at this in a few. Breakout for today is going to be a sell. We'll take a look at the overall trend in a few as well. So we got the direction of the breakout here. Price is kind of going back and forth. I'm going to mark an opening price on this candle. Looks like the breakout already hit. Yeah, breakout already hit full TP. Did you catch that, Steven? I'm hoping you caught that because it's already hit right there. All right, guys. So looking up here at the overall trend. So the 4-hour time frame is currently neutral. 1-hour time frame is neutral. 30-minute time frame is bullish. 10-minute time frame is bearish. 5-minute time frame is bearish, and the 1-minute time frame is bearish as well. So looking at this across the board, lower time frames here are bearish, and the higher time frames are bullish neutral. So it's pretty mixed. The longer time frames are looking like price is trying to correct back up, while lower time frames are staying below. The ATR right now is currently at 47, guys. So it's looking like we're probably going to have to adjust our TP stop loss to something smaller, about 50-50. But again, we're going to have to wait a little bit. I'm not going to make my changes just yet. I'm going to make my changes now because it's not looking like it's going to go higher than 70 for today. So I'm going to go and make my adjustments real quick, just in case entries do come up. So it looks like our average is dropping quite a bit. I'm not in the hundreds anymore, which is a good thing. Good. All right, solid. Steven, how did you get stop loss on this? I didn't even get close to the stop loss. Breakout hit full TP right there, Steven. And it hit TP again right there. Not sure how you hit your stop loss on that one. Okay, well, we'll look over, you can look over that or we can talk about that later, but I'm not sure how you hit your stop loss. The breakout of there was clearly a win. So it went straight down, came back up, and then went straight back down again. All right, anyways, we'll continue looking for opportunities here. The MPSV2 just came up right here, guys, if anybody decided to take it. It was right here at open, but it was, it was too close. So if you guys took that, nice work. If you guys didn't, it's completely fine. It was right at opening price, so I probably would have sat out on it for a little bit. But yeah, there goes the MPSV2 right here. It was right at the session, not the session, it was right at opening price though. Let's see, Steven said, is it because price is different in forex broker? I mean, it wouldn't matter what price you entered at, because if you entered right on open, it should have still hit your TP regardless. I mean, that could be the case. I know you're using a bootleg broker that I've never heard of, so I mean, I can't really say, Steven. Yeah, if you're using a broker I've never heard of, like it's a really weird broker that you're using. So I don't know. When you use a broker like that, the markets tend to be, price tends to get manipulated or spread might be manipulated or something like that. So I can't really say for sure, Steven, what your issue is with your but it for sure, if you see here, there's like no way it's stop loss. Um, it was off by like, 8 points or so. So I can't necessarily say what happened with your trade, but you can see here it clearly went to TP and it didn't go to stop loss at all. So I guess that's something you can figure out with your broker, but I'm not really sure what the explanation could be. Okay, it looks like we still have some crazy candles right now, guys. It looks like I spoke a little too early. I said market was kind of stabilizing and moving normal, and then we have this huge candle right here that just came up. So yeah, it's a 120-point candle right there. Let me check the news to see if there's anything that happened. But it looks like the market here is not necessarily back to where it should be. There's no news right now. I mean, the Fed's speaking, so this could be it. Fed Logan is speaking right now, so he might be causing price to kind of spike around a bit. But I don't really see anything here other than that. Yeah, this candle is huge. Look how big this candle is with a huge wick. I'd probably sit out for a little bit, guys. I mean, this is like unexplainable. And there's like no body on it. It just spiked up for 1 second, 100 points, and it came right back down. So I would probably just kind of sit tight for a little bit here, guys. Yes, just wait and see what happens next. Hey, what's up, Greg? Yeah, Sam said MPSV2 with V1 hit 450 points. Yeah. So this one right here hit. Looks like Sam caught it. Also, Daniel caught it as well. So nice work, Daniel. Yeah, Daniel took it for the same exact thing. Daniel said just took MPSV2 since it was a V1 engulfing. Perfect. Yeah, Stephen, we can talk later. Futures broker obviously is going to be your better choice because you're going to have the actual raw data. You're not going to have some made up data that's created. If you're going to use a forex broker, use one that's actually reliable and not like some, I forget which one you're using, but like yours sounds like like you found that off like some weird website. The website you showed me is like it seemed like funding traders. I've never heard of them before. Let me see. I don't know why you always use those those types of brokers, Steven. I mean, you explained to me, but I just this doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, this is one you're using. I've never heard of this one before. I don't know if anybody's heard of this one. Funding trader. I mean, the website just looks kind of bootleg already as it is. It looks like this is like a fake website. But then I can't be a judge of that because Apex looked like that initially too when they first started. I mean, the website doesn't even load up. Yeah, that'd be the first red flag there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's using Funding Trader, but I've never heard of them before. Steven's using them, and yeah, I don't know. If you want to keep using them, you keep using them, Steven. But I've given you the warning before that you shouldn't use like unknown brokers or unknown prop firms because like the thing is you could probably get funded with them, but the odds of you getting paid out are like very, very unlikely, especially if there's someone that people aren't using because they can basically deny you for anything. And if they're like not really known, it's easier for them to get away with stuff like that. All right, these yeah, Daniel said Apex was on Windows 95 for a while. Valentin said if you're UK, you can use FTMO. Yeah, he's on the East Coast, so he can't use FTMO. Yeah, so Steven wants to keep using MT4, MT5. Yeah, I don't know any brokers that still use those personally. They all use this thing called funding, or what's it called? Trade locker. Okay, guys, so you guys can see here, there's a lot of craziness that's still happening. So I take back what I was saying earlier that the market is going back to normal. This here is, yeah, these candles are huge. So this red candle right here was about 180 points. Man, I hate that I just changed everything to 50 point TP stop loss because now we're back to like 70s. Um, it's okay. I'm gonna wait for a little bit before I start taking any trades here anyway. So this candle again right here is another 160, 170 point candle. Yeah, these candles are huge. So I would sit tight, guys. Just sit tight. Wait for the market here to kind of stabilize a little bit because the last thing you want to do is get into a position and then it just randomly goes opposite on you, right? Let me clean this up. So looking at this so far, there's nothing else to take here right now. We're just getting some of these really, really extreme candles that came up out of nowhere. Let me see if there's any breaking news here. So not really any breaking news. We have this news over here from CNBC. It says Dow dropped 600 points as stocks give back some historic turnaround. Um, yeah, stocks fell on Thursday after a massive rally on Wall Street, spurred by President Trump's announcing a 90-day reprieve on some of his reciprocal tariffs. Yeah. So basically, Trump made a 90-day pause on the tariffs. Like I said earlier, if you guys didn't listen to what I was mentioning, um, I'm expecting this to kind of be the case moving forward. So like basically, there's gonna be like three different phases or four different phases. So we'll have like tariff drop, fake news, bring price back up, then confirmation of fake news, then confirmation of tariff pause. This is kind of the pattern that you're probably going to see moving forward for basically the next year or so. Tariffs, news, active. So the tariff news comes out, it goes active, price comes down, and then right here, speculation of pause or change, tariffs, and then right here, confirmation of no pause or change, because this is literally what happened over the past couple of days. And then right here, because we're in a 30-day pause or a 90-day pause right now, right? So like basically the new tariffs came out, price market crashed a little bit. There's a speculation of a pause, price came back up. White House said there's no pause, price came back down. And then yesterday, pause change was confirmed, 90-day pause, and it came right back up. So this is kind of the cycle, because in 90 days, this is going to happen again, probably. The new tariffs are going to be released, speculation of something, confirmation, and then they're going to fix it. And then I was back up. It's like a little game, right? It's like kind of understanding where the manipulation is coming from. Typically, we don't really care about the news. We like to see how market reacts to it, but it's starting to develop some sort of pattern where, like, for example, right here, price came up yesterday, now it's coming back down because the tariffs are still active. And then over the next couple of days, there's going to be little changes that happen. Because basically, this is what happened earlier this year, too. So I think this is the second time the tariff news has kind of had this cycle. Because initially, Trump was like, we're going to put tariffs on everybody, right? I think this was like in March or in February. And then he said, okay, we're going to wait till April. And then April happened, the tariffs came out, and then this like circus happened, and then he put another pause. So like basically he scares these countries with tariffs, the market gets scared and we go into fear and price starts to sell off. And then he just reassures us that, okay, the tariffs are actually gonna be paused. And stuff like that just keeps happening over and over and over again. So although it's not super necessary to like really know this stuff, it's good to have an idea. So like when the tariff news is happening, you can possibly focus on sales. And then when the confirmations of like change happens, then you can focus on buys maybe. It's always good to have a bias of some sort. Right now, we don't have any entries, but I do expect some sort of recovery to happen here. It's just the candles here are so big. So let's see, this candle right here, 70 points. So what I'm looking for right here, guys, is I'm looking for a buy signal to come up. So I'm looking for a buy signal here to come up so that we can get some retracement and then possibly a sell signal will come back down. Pretty much a head and shoulders pattern. Let's go ahead and take a look at the confluences. So looking over here on the 1 minute, price is currently getting near the value low. So we can probably expect a bounce to happen down here. Looking at the 30-minute time frame, price is already at the value low. It's bouncing off it at this moment. So we got rejections on both ends right here. We have a rejection off the value low. We have a rejection off the point of control. Looking at the 1 hour, we have the same thing. Rejection off the point of control. Rejection off the value low down here. If price pushes up any higher, it's going to reject off this value low right here too. Nothing on the volume profile. Clean chart has rejected right here off the whole number, 93,900. So here goes the correction. The buys do look decent or okay for the most part. We'll mark up some support resistance here if there's any. So nothing here on the 1 minute. Let's go on the 1 hour. For some reason, trading was really laggy today. So we got a 1 hour range right here. See if we can see here on the 4 hour. Now, Mexico, killing me. Oh, like every day I sleep kind of weird. My neck gets all super tight. All right, we got a 4 hour resistance right there. Let's go on to, I mean, there's not going to be anything too close. We got the daily right here too. All right, back to the 1 minute. So support resistance over here. We actually don't have any zones that are nearby. We got one right here on the 1 minute. Price is actually rejecting off it at the moment. So I don't think the support resistance chart will be really too much of a help for us today because there's not really many zones nearby until some sort of range becomes established here. So we'll kind of leave this alone. But going back over here, we currently have a buy signal. So with this buy signal right here, we can look for possible opportunities for MPSB2 for a buy. The problem with this here is that it's right at the red flag, guys. So if anybody's looking to take this here, it is right at these sessions. I'm not going to take this one here. If anybody wants to take it, I'll mark it up for you guys. The ATR is actually really high right now. It's at 81. So you probably don't want to use a 50-50. If you want to use a 50-50, fine, use it. But if you want to use a 75-75, you can do that as well. So again, if this candle closes above this black line, this is going to be an MPSB2. The problem is that it's right at the sessions right here. And you can see how price is having trouble getting past it. This is an area of manipulation. So if you want to take this, take this with that in mind, that if you do take this trade, you might get manipulated to the downside. This might not even close. So got 5 seconds there. Candle did not close above the black line, so there's no entry there for MPSB2. If you guys are looking to take it, it's marked up for you guys. I will continue watching here. Yeah, Talanji said the breakout has been extra risky since all this Trump news, to be honest. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Talanji, because like what happens a lot of times is that something will be announced in the market in the morning, like right before open, and that'll cause a lot of manipulation with the direction of price because price could be coming down or price could be coming up, but because whatever Trump announces or anything in general, it causes price to go the other way. So it's just something to keep in mind. Yes, Laundry said FTMO forced me to only risk 1%. Turns out Apex is better anyways. Yeah, and I agree with you too. All right, guys, MPSB2 starting to set up here. Again, it's at a red flag. So if you guys want to take it at your own risk. I'm going to mark it up for you guys here so we can follow, but I'm not going to be taking it myself. So this is the MPSB2. Like I said, price is having trouble getting past the sessions right there. So this here just would not be a good setup for me to want to take or even look at, like even to give it any attention. We'll follow it, but I'm not in the position, guys. Just another reminder, I'm not in the position because there's a red flag right here. It's the sessions. Yeah, Christian said be careful because candles are larger than 70-point stop loss. Yeah, I agree with you too. The candle's been kind of big. Yeah, Tarek also confirmed he said would rather wait. Same here. I wouldn't. The sessions here are probably the biggest red flag for me. I like never want to take trades around that area. Tarek also mentioned lots of liquidity sitting at the session highs and lows. Yeah, 100%. So I mean, if price pushes above here even higher, then you'll have more opportunity to take buys up here, right? And then vice versa, if price comes back down, you have opportunity to take sells down here as well. So I'm going to take this off. I don't want you guys to think I'm in the position. We'll come back and take a look at this in a few. But like I said, see how price is getting manipulated around the sessions right here, guys? You can kind of see how it happened before too. Price, whenever it gets down to this area where this purple line is, see how price bounces off it and it just kind of goes sideways. So right here, price bounced off it, goes sideways, bounce off and bounce off. It comes below, then it retests it and just keeps bouncing off right here. The sessions tends to act like a magnet. So this is the Asia low from yesterday, and you can see how price just gets pulled back to it, right? Pulls away, and it pulls back to it. It'll pull away this way and pulls right back to it. It's just, that's typically what happens. There goes price pushing up. Let's see if it actually hit. I think it might have hit, but, or no, this big spike right here probably would have stopped it out. Now let's just measure it from here. So the entry was on this candle right here. Yeah, that big spike right there would have stopped it out. But again, see, it's doing exactly what I just told you guys, right? So look how it pushes away, pulls back to it, pushes away, pulls back to it, pushes away, probably pull right back to it again. It's, this is the whole reason why I created this tool. I created this tool because I used to see this all the time. And it just made it easier for us to have the tool ready so that whenever it happens, we can just follow it. Right, the ATR is getting really high again, guys. So, It looks like what we were anticipating before is not the case. So earlier before market opened, it was at like 40 ATR. Market opened up, it was at 50, and then now it's back to 90. See if there's any breaking news. Okay, let's see what we got here. This is a live update. It says Trump has tariff deal offers on the table from around 15 countries. Yeah, President Donald Trump dramatically reversed course, dropping his country-specific tariffs down to a universal 10% rate for all partners except China. See, so you guys can see here, the whole tariff thing was it was all bluff, right? So Trump executed all these tariffs, and then all of a sudden everything changed. It went from like 100% tariff to 60% tariff to 70% tariff, and now it's just 10% for everybody except China, which is what was supposed to happen anyways, right? We don't have problems with these other countries. We have problems with China. And it says China's tariff rate will jump 125% immediately. So this is why the market's going crazy right now, because it's going to start to kind of balance out. So this is I mean, it's going to be tough with things that we get from China, but it's fine because we'll just get stuff from other countries, right? Like every other country that we import export from. So I mean, the trade war pretty much went from US against everybody to US against China. So, this is what I talked about before, guys. Like when these tariffs started coming out, I mentioned, this is part of a bigger scheme. Like, although it seems like this might be, something to be afraid of, like I said, the craziness is probably going to last a little bit, and then it's going to balance out, and it's just going to go back into a normal market. But these are basically, this was the bargaining piece that Trump did. He pretty much scared everybody to making deals with the US, and now he's pretty much dropped everything down 10%. So I think we're going to have some more of this craziness for a while, maybe for like another month or two, once everything's been established. And then once everything's been established from there, it's just going to be a trade war with China. So big distraction, of course, for everybody with regards to the markets, but we'll see. I mean, it's not final yet, so we'll have to wait and see what happens over the next couple weeks, if not next couple months. All right, so we have an MPSV2 possibly setting up right here, guys. The problem is that the ATR is super, super high again, so I'm gonna have to change my TP stop loss back to 75, which is kind of annoying. I just changed it to 50. So let me change all of my accounts back to my 75 settings. Change everything back. So all that I can hope for here is that the market starts to go back to normal. I wouldn't say normal, but back to, I guess, regular ATR. Like we don't want to have the ATR jumping from like 40 to like 90 within a couple minutes, right? If it stays at 90, that's great. Leave it at 90. If it stays at 70, great. Leave it at 70. If it stays at 100, great. Leave it at 100 so that we can have some sort of fixed TP stop loss to use for these entries. The problem is that the market's not very consistent. You can see here it's now starting to die down a little bit. The candles are like below 70 now. So with the candles being below 70, the ATR is probably going to drop dramatically over the next 10 to 20 minutes. Like right now it's at 88, it's probably going to come down to 70. And you can see right there, it's now down to 82. Each time these candles close smaller, the ATR is going to come down a bit. Each time each candle closes bigger, the ATR is going to increase a little bit. So just gotta wait. Yeah, Christian said, I think the goal was China. Yeah, I agree with you too. Tarek said, eventually China has to fold and negotiate. It's all play to get them to negotiate, in my opinion. And I agree with you, Tarek, 100%. I think everything Trump does is a bargaining piece. I don't think Trump does any of this stuff. Like everyone thinks Trump's crazy, but I think Trump is pretty genius when it comes down to making a deal, right? Like the same with Russia and Ukraine. Like you, Russia and Ukraine, the war would have never slowed down. Well, I mean, it hasn't really slowed down. It's still going on, but there's still talks of them, finally stopping what they're doing because Trump basically stepped in and said like, you guys need to stop fighting and like we're going to back up Ukraine if you guys give us your precious gases and metals, right? So like everything Trump does, there's a meaning behind it. So whenever Trump does something crazy, I wouldn't necessarily think, oh, he's doing something crazy. I would think, like, why is he doing this? What's the outcome of this crazy tactic that he's doing? Like the whole tariff thing that he did, that's like crazy, right? I think everyone, when he released the tariffs, everyone went crazy, went like in a huge shock because it's not something that would normally be done. But yeah, he had a bigger plan to it. It was really just a corner of China. He basically scared everybody to join the US side. So this is kind of what happened. Um, so tariffs used to force other countries to choose a side, right? That's literally what happened. Like the tariffs were forced to basically make everybody choose a side. It's like you're either going to choose US, and tariffs go away, right? You listen to the US, or you ignore US, side with China, tariffs make or tariffs cause worldwide recession, right? So this is kind of like what happened here, basically. I mean, Trump basically scared all the countries to join with the US. Like basically now all the countries have to listen to the US, right? Because they're basically they have to listen to us or the tariffs will go up. So they had like two sides. It was like either choose the US, tariffs go away, or they become minimal, or ignore the US and side with China, tariffs cause a worldwide recession. Obviously, what choices can be made, right? Follow the US. So that's basically what happened. Same with the war in Russia, right? It's like the war in Russia is Russia, Ukraine war, right? It's the same thing here. It's like Ukraine give USA what they want, help with war against Russia, right? Which is necessary. They need our help. Or the opposite, Ukraine did not take help, defeated by. It's like they're basically being what Trump is doing is he's putting them in a tight spot. Trump is putting all these countries in a tight spot so that they have to like listen to us basically. Which is how I mean it's messed up, but it's how it should be, right? That's kind of how it because the US is a world power, of course. So like the US should have bargaining power and they shouldn't be giving out free handouts. So I mean it is what it is. People are gonna have different opinions on it. I'm not here to be political and stuff like that, but that stuff directly affects the market. So we only care about it because it affects the market. For me personally, I'm not really into all that stuff. So, and I don't really have I mean, I guess we have some sort of interest in what happens because it's going to affect the market one way or another. But for us, since we're scalping, we really want the world to go back into not peace, but like basically stabilize the market so that we can start to take entries here. There's an MPSV2 that came up right here, guys. Sell signal retracement confirmation right here. I don't know if this here would have hit. No, looks like it didn't. Unless you're using a really big TP stop loss. I think 75 might be too tight. You might even have to use 100 like we were talking about before. Because 100 is hitting. The only problem here is that it's kind of hard to find that consistency, right? Because the ATR is all over the place. Yeah, exactly. Mike said MPSV2 running would have had at least 85 point stop loss or would have been stopped out. Yeah, you have to base your TP stop loss, guys, off of the ATR. The ATR has been above like 85, so like what Mike just mentioned, you'd have to have at least 85. Or if you want to use a fixed TP stop loss, you'd probably use something like 100 because the 75 is not going to work right now. The volatility is too high. Yeah, Maria said Sleepy Joe and hyperactive Trump are not good for your economy. The main problem is the nuclear briefcase. Yeah, no, that's really what it is. So the thing is right now is like we have a trade war going on, but the thing is you don't want like I'm okay with the trade war, right? Like I think the trade war could be negotiated, but we don't want to go into a real war, right? Like an actual war, like what Maria just mentioned, the nuclear briefcase. Because once you go into a real war, that's where like you can't turn around, right? It's like when you go into a real war, that's like where like you can't just make a deal all of a sudden. The war is going to go on for like 4 or 5 years, kind of like what happened with Afghanistan. Uh, yeah, it's crazy. It's just crazy now because we're older. So I feel like when we were younger, it didn't really matter very much, but now it kind of does. All right, guys. So we'll continue looking for opportunities here, but there's just nothing here to take right now. If you guys want to take entries, I'm going to keep marking up these entries for you guys, but I would highly recommend you probably just sit out of the market until like the ATR here kind of stabilizes a bit. Um, yeah, Tarek said this would have won even at 80 ATR. Yeah, 80. So you have to like base it off the ATR, just like Tarek said, like if you're gonna take an entry, guys, don't use something that's smaller than the ATR. Use something that's very close, if not exactly to the ATR. Because the trades are hitting, like the MPSV2 here is working, but you have to base it off whatever the ATR is because the market's it's just changing, right? Well, it's not changing, but it's like the volatility is changing very quickly. It'll go from like a very small candle, like so for example, this small one right here is about like 63 points, right? You go from 63 points to the candle right before it, which is like 110 points. Like it's such a big difference, candle by candle. But the average right now is about 84, 85. So if you feel confident, so here's the thing. This is the main takeaway that I'll give you to you guys. If you feel really confident about a position, your confidences are lining up, you see a lot of nice rejections and all that, feel free to take the position, but give yourself some cushion. So like right now, for example, the ATR is at 81. I probably would use the 85, 85, right? Just in case you get like a big candle that comes out of nowhere. Because that's usually what's going to happen here. You're probably not going to get smaller candles, you're going to get bigger candles. And then, for example, if the ATR is at like 87, like this candle right here is starting to be pretty big. If the ATR is at 87, probably use a 90-90, right? You kind of want to you want to overextend your TP stop loss just a little bit, not a crazy amount. So like I think 100, like if this was 100, it's kind of overkill because at that point you might be stuck in that position for a while. But so this candle right here is about 100 points. So if you get a buy entry here or a sell entry or whatever it may be, here's the thing that you also want to look at too. The thing is the market here isn't necessarily flat, right? The market is moving. We're in a range, but the market is moving. So it looks like we're sort of back in a range right here, which is fine. The range isn't going to be a make or break factor. The range is actually okay because now that we have a range, it's going to establish market profile here, right? So now we have confidences, right? Check this out. We got a rejection right here off the value low. If price pushes up any higher, we'll have a rejection right here off the value high. Right? We get rejections on both ends. but you guys can see the range here. Same with the 1 hour. See the 1 hour, we already have a rejection off the value high, and we have a rejection off the value low. Typically, I don't like these types of confluences. I like confluences where they just reject off one side. But I mean, I'd rather have confluences and no confluences, right? I'd rather have some sort of rejection at least. There's a rejection right here off the value low, volume profile. Here's the clean chart. Rejection right there off the whole number. 40,000 price point. Nothing off the support resistance. I don't think support resistance is going to be much help for us this week or for today, actually, because it's too far off. Let's see, Solange said UK tried to pull a power move like this with Brexit when they left, and the EU, when they left the EU, and it did not go well. Yeah, I think you remember that, Solange, right? So if you guys have been trading with me for a while, if you guys were around with us during Brexit, we were still trading forex around that time. And yeah, like the pairs we would trade GU, we would trade EU. Like, yeah, the UK tried that type of power move and it didn't work well. The difference with the UK is that they're such a smaller country in comparison to like US, right? Because the US is intertwined with the entire world. When a smaller country, although the UK is a strong country, they're a smaller country. There's not as many other countries that can rely on them. Like they don't really have bargaining power like the US. Same with Canada. Like each of these countries, it kind of depends on like what the country has to bring to the table. Like Canada is a big country, and they do have they do have like the ability for trade, but they don't have nuclear weapons, right? Like the US does. So like every country kind of has their weaknesses and pros, and they in a sense these countries have to connect to the US somehow. So we'll see. But anyways, I'm still paying attention to the ATR down here. I think my main focus right now is really the ATR because I'm trying to figure out what the average is. We're back at like 90 now. So if this is the case, my 75 TP stop loss is no match for this type of ATR. I might have to bump it up to 90 or even 100. So let's see. So Barack's the story. So I took a trade of 25K, and man, it's impossible to make profits in this market. Drawdown is limit is to 1,000, and I don't want to move to micro. Absolutely regretting. Yeah, it's tough if you guys are on a smaller account, like with what Barack said, because your drawdown is so little. Like even for myself, right now on the 300K, I'm using a 6 contract for a 75 TP stop loss. For 100 TP stop loss, I'm going to be using 4 contracts. So it's kind of hard for people who are on smaller accounts because you guys have to use like 1 mini. Otherwise, you'll have to move down to the micro. Mike said, if you're older, I must be 1 foot in the grave. It's crazy how time flies, Mike. I'm pretty sure like, a generation ago, you were like in the same position as me. But it's crazy how time flies. Because I started trading with you guys when I was like in my 20s. Like I started trading live with you guys here when I was in my 20s, and then now I'm in my 30s. And it's been almost a full decade trading with you guys. Yeah, it's almost been 10 years. It's crazy because like before I used to tell you guys that I've been trading for 10 years when I used to trade stocks and forex, but now I've been trading, so it's been almost 15, 20 years now. So I moved from stocks, options to forex currencies, and then from forex currencies to indices to now futures. So I've been doing about futures for like the last six to 8 years. So there's been a big transition between different assets. It's the same thing though, same concept, same strategy, same everything. It's just we're trading different assets with regards to futures. Yeah, it's all good, Brock. I mean, for me, initially, when I first opened an Apex account, I opened like a 150K account. And I was like, okay, I need to bump it up to 300. So at least now you know. Yeah, Talani said, I agree. Plus, Trump is respected as a businessman, so his threats hit different. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. All right, guys, there's still nothing going on here. In order for us to have any entries, we would need to get a buy signal to push price back up. So we have price currently coming down right here. We need price to push back up a little bit and then possibly come back down, or price to continue climbing from here. right? We're looking for one of these types of patterns to come up so that we can have some sort of entry. I'll put the sellers in control from like right here. Basically, the buyers were in control from down here. So the sellers have been pushing price down for a while now. It's breaking down below this lower range. So you can see from the ATR, it's not very consistent, right? It goes from like 80 to 82 to 84, now 85, 86. It's pretty much sitting between 80 and 90. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some water real quick. All right, guys, I'm back. So we got a pending buy signal right here. I'll see if this here at the closing. The ATR is currently at 82. So uh let's see. I don't know if the 75 would work. Let's measure this. Because these candles are bigger than 75 points, like way bigger than 75 points. 85. Actually, they're starting to slow down a little bit. So the ATR is now below 80. So we'll kind of see how this ends up sitting here. It looks like price faked out below. So price over here tried to get below the range, faked out, came back up, came back below right here, faked out, came right back up. And I think price will probably be pulling back into the range here, possibly a break and retest and back up into this area here. I mean, possibly. It's a big possibility. Let's take a look at the confluences. So let's just take a full analysis of the market right now. So looking over here at the 4-hour time frame, the price is it's more of a bearish neutral. The trend's still indicating a bearish trend over here on the 4-hour. Looks like price kind of just faked out up a little bit, and it's coming back down. So the 4-hour time frame here is more of a bearish neutral. The 1-hour over here is bullish. So you can see over here, price pushed above it, came back, retested, pushing back up. So it's kind of mixed on the higher time frames. 4 hours bearish, 1 hour is bullish. 30-minute over here was bullish, and it's now shifting down to bearish. So it was above, and it's starting to cut below. Kind of similar to what was happening over here on the 4-hour. So in the higher time frame, it's a pretty mixed trend. 4 hours 4 hours bearish neutral. 1 hour is bullish. 30-minute here is bullish neutral, or just neutral in general, because it's shifting from bullish to bearish. The 10 minutes bearish, 5 minutes bearish, and the 1 minute bearish here. So with that said, for the most part, it's pretty bearish overall. The only ones here that are really bullish is the 1 hour time frame. So if all of these are bearish and they continue to drop lower, the 1 hour is probably going to follow. So there goes that right there with regard to the trend. Looking over here at the market profile. So the 1 minute market profile over here, we do have a rejection off the value low. That's a good thing, right? We want to have that rejection off the bottom end because we do have a buy signal that's pending right here. I don't know if it'll close, but if it does, we do have one confluence here on the 1 minute. Looking over here on the 30-minute time frame, we have a rejection on both ends. We have a rejection down here off the value low. We also have a rejection up here off the value high. So typically I don't like seeing this, but so if we wait until about 7:30 in about 10 minutes, we might have price close here, retest the value low, and then push back up there. That could be something to possibly look out for. Over here on the 1 hour, same thing. We have rejection on both ends. Value high, value low. I don't like it, but you know, you gotta deal with what you can work with. Looking over here at the volume profile, we currently don't have any rejections right here. Looking at the clean chart, we do have a rejection off the whole number down here. It's the 39,850 price point, but we also have a rejection on the top end. So like I said, I don't like when you have double rejections like that. We'll see. The support resistance here, there's nothing here to really mark up. Yeah, there's no zones down there. So nothing really. I mean, this is really just a game of patience, guys. The ATR is back to 77. So like I said earlier, I'm glad I didn't make any changes because 75 might be the key here. Looks like there's an A++ setup that just came up right here, guys, on this engulfing candle. So we had a sell signal engulfing V1 right here, MPS V2 hit TP right there, and another engulfing right here. So this setup for an A++ setup for a sell. I don't think I had any confluences there for a sell, though. I mean, there's a couple, but let's just mark this up here. There wasn't a lot, but there's a couple confluences for a sell there. I mean, I personally wouldn't have taken it because I wasn't looking for a sell here to begin with. I was looking for the confluences from the bottom end. We do have a rejection off the value high over here on the 30-minute and the 1 hour. but these rejections happened a long time ago. So the more recent rejections, which you want to focus on, which is down here, value low. Yeah, I don't really see any rejections from the top end, so I don't think a sell here would be ideal for myself. We got a buy signal coming up right here, currently pending. If this closes, possible MPSV2 setting up here. It's just discipline here, guys. It's really like, because if you look at this choppiness right here, you can really get stopped out in either direction, right? If you chase this for a sell, you can possibly make money, you can possibly lose money because it's not really going anywhere. It's going back and forth. So if you're getting in at a good, like if you got in at a good point, then you possibly can make some money on it. If you got in at a bad point, you possibly lost money on it because it's not really going directional to the upside. And it's not really going directional to the downside. In a sideways market like this, you don't really want to take anything other than, I mean, there's entries you can take, but the thing with this range here is that it's not very, it's not a clean range. Like we have a median right here down the middle, and basically just fake outs down here. Price comes down, fakes out back up. Price comes down right here, fakes out back up. Same with the opposite direction, right? Price pushes up, fakes out back down. And this box right here sort of acts like as a magnet. So price pushes out, comes back down. Price pushes down, comes back up. The ATR is down below 80 now, so this is a good sign. We do like to see that the ATR is back to normal, which is about 75. We have a pending buy signal here. The thing that you want to keep in mind is that this buy signal has been pending for a long time, right? It's been pending since like back here. So there's been maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 candles of pending buy signal. When you have it pending like that for so long, this will indicate that, okay, maybe this isn't a strong buy signal that's going to really hold. Let's check the news again. I have to keep checking the news to like make sure there's nothing here that really cause us to reopen this. So this is the same thing I was talking about earlier. So Dow falls 1,000 points as tariff sell-off resumes after a historic rally. So see what I mentioned earlier, guys, the pattern that's repeating. It's like the tariff news comes out, price comes down super heavily, then something happens to cause a correction, and then the sell-off happens again, and then another correction, and then back to another sell-off. So we're really just like in a huge range at this point. Like 1,000 to 2,000 point range. It's not a small range, it's a big one. Because the tariff news will come out, something will kind of push it up a little bit, then we come back down, then it pushes up a little bit, and the same. It's just the same thing back and back and back and back and back and back. So right now we're currently in a drop, right? So price is kind of dropping right now. What we could possibly expect is maybe tomorrow another correction back up, or maybe later today, correction back up, right? Because if you look on the higher time frames, that's kind of what's been happening here. So look what happened yesterday. Like if you really zoom out, you can see it's like this pattern that I just showed you guys. Price comes down, something happens to push price up again. The tariff news comes back out, huge correction, and then we just keep going back and forth. The waves go down and the waves come back up. So right now, I think we're going to have a swing back up because this thing's been dropping for a while over here. I feel like right after we get off this live, maybe midday, there's going to be some sort of announcement that's going to cause price to be bullish again. It's just so crazy how like the stuff's moving like this. You know, like in order for stuff to move like this, a lot of money is going to have to be changing hands here. Like the thing is, a lot of retail traders, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of them are getting screwed right now, but it's not enough to really cause these big fluctuations in price movement, right? So let's measure how big the movement was from pre-market. So it's actually not that big. I mean, it's been a pretty decent move, but it's not over 1,000 points. So from pre-market right here, 607. Actually, I guess we measure it from up here, 530. So basically from 530 up until this morning, it's moved about 750 points, which isn't like super, super crazy. Right? Because like a couple days ago, we were having like 1,000 point candles and stuff like that. So I don't think this is super crazy, but it is still relevant. Yeah, Maria said nice W formation in 4 hour time frame. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was explaining to you guys too, right? When you see a W pattern like that, what Maria has mentioned, this just shows that we're in a huge range right now. Right? We're just in a huge, huge range. Let's see, Sam said he took it to full TP, V1 at 1521. Yeah, right here. So Sam took this entry right here. He had stop loss before, now back in green. Nice. Yeah, so if you guys want to trade within the range, I mean, you guys can. You can look out for these V1 engulfings. These V1 engulfings will indicate reversal patterns. Yeah, Christian said the ATR is good, but we don't have the signal. I know. So that buy signal that's been pending for the past, I guess, 10 to 12 minutes now still hasn't closed. So it's been coming up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about 12 to 15 minutes. All right, looks like we're just gonna have to keep waiting. So again, right here, so exactly what I said earlier, guys, look how the fake out happens. Price pulls away, and then it pulls back to this box, right? This is why I'm saying, like, you need to wait for price to really break out of this area, like above it or below it, because otherwise it's just going to keep pulling back to this area. This is why I'm saying you can get screwed on both ends, whether you take a buy here. If you were chasing this buy here, price would have came down and stopped you out. If you were chasing the sell here, price would have came back up and stopped you out as well. This box I drew here is basically the medium. Price keeps coming back to this area. So basically down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Not much of a change there. The Samsung 30-year bond auction news today, very important. If not bought, then US may be in trouble. Yeah, I think it's right now at 7:30, right? Well, it's later today, it's at 10 o'clock, yeah. It's gonna be bought, it always is. So we got an 8-week bill auction, 4-week bill auction. Yeah, it's gonna be bought, of course, but it can affect, yeah, because of the thing is people don't want to buy these bonds if we're like in an uncertain market, right? I think that's like the key thing. Because or no, technically bonds would be good in uncertain market because you're gonna expect the US dollar to recoup. So I think it's actually a good time to buy bonds. Well, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because yeah, your money will kind of be safe, but the um the volatility in the market. So for example, during COVID, it was like best time to buy bonds because everything was going crazy and like people thought the market was going to crash. So like obviously if the market's going to crash, you want to put your money into bonds because you want to put your money into the US dollar. Um, Here it's like a little different because it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's the difference with COVID and now is different because COVID prices just keep dropping and obviously, there's a fluctuation. If the stock market is crashing, then you want to buy gold and bonds, right? You buy gold bars or you buy bonds. And then vice versa, if the market's going well, you don't want to buy bonds and you want to put money in the market. So the thing with the market we're currently in is that it's so back and forth that that like the bonds aren't the obvious choice here. The bonds aren't the obvious choice. Crypto is not the obvious choice. Like look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin fluctuated yesterday too. It got up to like pretty nice yesterday, actually. I was like, man, when we were at 85 yesterday, I was like, okay, cool. We're gonna make it back to like 90, maybe 100. But then it came all the way back down. We got close to it though. We got up to like 83, almost 84. All right, we have an MPSV2 setting up right here. Let me check the confluences real quick. See, the problem here is I don't really have confluences for a buy right now. There's a 1 hour, 1 minute change. I just don't have enough confluences, guys. If you guys want to take this entry, this is going to be an MPSV2 for a buy. I think it might be too close to the sessions up there. Let me check. Because I'd be using a 75, 75. Actually, this one could work. It's just there's not enough confluences for me to want to take the entry. If you guys are looking to take it, I'll mark it up for you guys. But I don't have anything here on the 1 minute. I mean, sort of here on the 30 minute. It's not super strong though. 1 hour. Volume profile. All right, so it's currently actually it's not running yet. Yeah, so here's the problem. If I was to take this entry here, see how close it is to the sessions. If it closes anywhere above this area, it's gonna be really tricky because close too high, it's not gonna be where you want it to be. Yeah, because I don't want to cut into the sessions up here. If you guys want to take this entry, I'll mark it up for you guys. But I think it's going to be too close to the sessions right there. Yeah, just what Tarek said too. I will enter this if it closes not to the high. This thing's gonna have to cut through the high here in order for it to hit for a 75, 75. I mean, if you want to do a 70, 70, it's still gonna get cut off up there. Yeah. So here's the entry. I'll mark it up for you guys. It's just this here is what throws me off because what might happen here is this thing might get close to the TP, but then it might just come right back down. Right, I think it's a little tricky. Let's go ahead and take a look at the confluences. If you guys are in this position, it's currently running right now. Let's take a look. The 4 hour here is neutral. 1 hour is bullish. 30 minute is neutral bullish. 10 minute here is bearish. 5 minutes bearish. 1 minute here is it's shifting to bullish right now. It's neutral, but it's shifting to bullish. Let's now take a look at the confluences here. So here's the thing that I didn't like about it is that it was so close to the value high. It was like closed at the value high. I didn't get a rejection here off the 1 minute. Over here on the 30 minute, we do have the rejection here on the previous candle, not on the current candle, but on the previous candle, there was a rejection. Looking over here on the 1 hour, we have a rejection right here off the value low. So there's confluences here for a buy. It's just it was really close to the sessions right there. If you are taking it, guys, probably tighten up your TP a little bit. So looking at this right here, rejection off the whole number, 40,000. There we go, it pushes up in profit. Again, if you want to get out of this position early, guys, I would recommend getting out early, like maybe right at the sessions or right below it. Nice. So Tarek got in for 70. Nice work, Tarek. And he's out. Yeah, the closer you get to the sessions, guys, the closer I'd recommend just pulling out because it's not, once it gets close to the sessions right there, you're gonna get some obviously manipulation. And you can see right here, the manipulation is starting to show. Nice, nice. Sam got it, Jonathan got it. Tarek got it for 70 and he's out. Yeah. Yeah, Tarek said I closed very close to the session highs. Yeah. You don't want to be close, you don't want to be at the session highs. You want to be close to it, but not at it. This will probably hit, but you're at that point where you're like a few points away. You might as well just pull your profit at that point. Brock got it as well. Nice work, Brock. All right, guys, solid work to whoever caught that trade right there. Like I said, you just have to make your small adjustments right here to get out closer to the like before price gets to the sessions. I think a 65 would probably work perfect right there. And this is from experience, guys. It's not that this is new to me. You can see over here, whenever price gets near the sessions, manipulation tends to happen. All right, Brock is done for the day. All right, Brock, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Let's see, we got some team profits from this morning. David locked in 2,380. These are profits from yesterday. I didn't really get to see it. Tarek locked in 2,175, just one trade. And Ark over here as well, locked in 690 yesterday. Nice work. All right. Yeah, I forgot to take a look at the team profits yesterday. So this trade's still running, but again, like I said, it's having trouble getting past the sessions right there. $7.38. We still got about 22-ish minutes till to 8 o'clock. Yeah, Tarek said candles look good for me to fill higher. I like the reversal on it. And the trend up looked good to me. Clean candles up for the most part. Yeah. So this is why it's important that we look at the full picture, right? Because like, for example, here I was mentioning that, everything here was shifting to bullish, like the 4-hour shifting to bullish, 1-hour shift is already bullish, 30-minute was shifting to bullish. 10-minute wasn't, so the 10 and 5 weren't, but the 1 minute over here was. It was a break and retest off the pivots right here and a push back up. The only problem is getting past the sessions, of course, which was expected. All right, so we're getting the back and forth here again. So the volatility is starting to get really flat. We're now at 64 ATR. Not flat, but it's starting to kind of stabilize a little more. It's going back to what we expected from this morning. We had some crazy movements over here throughout the day. So back to what I was saying before, guys, I think the average is going to be closer to like 70, 75, somewhere around there. Because I think this is what we would consider a normal market without anything crazy happening behind the scenes. I mean, who knows? Something might happen like in the next few minutes. Trump might announce something. So another update right here says Trump tariff pause said to be driven by bond market depression concerns. Just a few minutes ago, said advanced swipes at insane critics of Trump's move against China. I forget Vance is even the VP. Like I never see Vance like anywhere. Like I forgot he was even relevant because it was for a while it was just Trump and Elon, right? I thought Elon was a VP for a while. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this affects the market. Tariffs or Tarek said done for the day. See you all in the AM. Yeah, definitely Tarek. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a good day, bro. So target's done for the day. The trade here is still running, guys. If anybody is still following it, like I said, again, price pushed up, had trouble getting past the sessions right there, and it's just kind of sitting around this middle area. So if you guys ever take an entry where it has to cut into the sessions, the simple thing here to do is to just cut your TP a little tighter. So instead of going for that full 75 or even 70, pull down to 65, right? Or even 60, or even 50, whatever your preference may be, as long as it gets cut out before it gets to the sessions. All right, another breaking news here. Trump acknowledges tariffs could cause recession, but didn't want depression. All right. Skip asks, who knew in advance about Trump's tariff pause amid insider trading concerns? Yeah, because the thing is, the news already came out. I don't even know where people saw the news on, I think it was Wednesday or Tuesday. On Tuesday or Wednesday, when that big spike to the upside happened, or I think it was Monday actually, there was a big spike to the upside, and then the White House said it was fake news, but like, I don't know where that news even came from. Yeah, I'm not sure. Not really sure. All right, guys. So let me go back over here. We currently have a sell signal that is pending right now. It's a big sell signal. It's about 100 points. Big sell signal being over there now. Yeah, Sir said Nancy. Um, let's take a look. So we got the sell signal, which closed right here. Now let's go back again and take a look at the confluences here. So the 4-hour time frame is still bearish neutral. 1-hour time frame is bullish neutral. 30-minute time frame is neutral neutral. 10-minute time frame is bearish. 5 minutes bearish. 1 minute is shifting back to bearish. Looking over here at the confluences, we don't have any rejections off the top, off the value high right now. We do have this rejection that happened a few minutes ago, but nothing recent. We have a rejection right here off the 30-minute time frame. Rejecting off the value high. 1-hour time frame, same thing. Rejection right there off the value high. Volume profile kind of depends on how this ends up moving, but if it does continue to drop lower, we do have rejections right here off the value high as well. Clean chart, we have a rejection off this upper whole number that happened earlier at 40,100. We don't have anything here right now currently. Might have one on the next candle or so, 30 seconds away. And we do have a rejection right here off the resistance. So we have a possible MPSB2 setting up right here, guys. This ends up closing below the black line right there. I don't like how this is like kind of bouncing back and forth though, like we talked about yesterday. So no close below it yet. Again, if it closes below this black line, this is going to be a setup for an MPSB2. We do have a pretty good amount of confluences here. So we got a couple confluences here off the 1 minute, 30-minute, 1 hour volume profile. Not quite here on the clean chart, but it's trying to. Yeah, I don't like how these candles are kind of having trouble getting past this area here. Yeah, this is tricky because it keeps bouncing off the entry point right there. It gets close to it, and then at the last second it pushes right back up. Lila's asking if I'm getting in. I don't know yet. We'll see what we got here. I mean, this candle would for sure have to close below, but I also don't want it to close too big, right? Because that's a problem that we had yesterday. The candle closed a little too big, and then it ended up retracing super hard. ATR right now is currently at 66. This is a possible MPSV2. Again, here, guys, I don't know if like, I think this candle here might be a little too big. Well, the target's a little too far out. This is what I don't like about it, because the thing is, like, if it gets down to this area, it's gonna have to cut through the lower range. And personally, I'm just not a fan of that. I'm not gonna take this trade here. I'll follow it for you guys. I don't like where it's currently at. So the trade's currently running right now. There's just a couple different factors. The ATR is a little lower, so like I think 75 might be a little too far out. I don't have time to make the adjustments to lower my TP a little tighter. I think maybe a 65 would probably make more sense for this here. But yeah, the problem is I don't have the ability to make the changes to my contract size that quickly. Um, I think so. What I might do, if this is the case and the volatility is kind of all over the place, I might make adjustments to like where I'm only trading my Apex accounts by itself, or only my Tradify accounts. Because if I do that, I can just do exact quantity size, and I don't have to make changes to my contract sizing. But the main issue here is that I'm trading my Tradify, which is using smaller contract sizes, and then also I'm trading my Take Profit Trader, which is also using smaller contract sizes. But the ATR right now is currently at 60. So I mean, the target might have to be a little tighter, 60-60 instead of the whole 75-75. Yeah, Stern said tomorrow we have bank earnings Q1. Good to know. So I'll be following JP Morgan tomorrow. Hopefully it's really good. Pushes my JP Morgan up. All right, so full TP right here on this entry. I was tempted to take it, but fortunately I did set out on this one. But there you go, guys. Full TP on that one right there. For the 75-75. It actually pushed through the full 75-75. Nice. Looks like Sam caught it right there. Not sure if you caught it, Lila. You probably sat out on this one too. It's been getting burnt out a little bit lately, so I've been kind of being a little more cautious, of course. All right, let's see what we got here. We got price pushing back up. So price is trying to push back up right here, but it didn't end up closing with the buy signal. So there's no other setups here. There's a possible, let's see, we could possibly have an A++ setup setting up right here though. The ATR again is still kind of low, guys. So if you guys are looking to take any entries here, you probably want to use something like I don't think the 75 is going to be your. You guys can see here it's super far out. So the ATR is currently at 60. You probably want to use a 60 for any other entries that you guys want to take. The main problem with me is that I can't really make those adjustments to my accounts unless like I'm like for sure. I'm gonna have to create a table. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a table with the different contract sizes for like the whole numbers. Because right now I currently have one for like 30, 50, 75, 100, but I don't have one for like 60. So I'm not able to change my contract sizes that quickly. So for example, if I wanted to take this here for an A++, I mean, it's probably gonna hit, but I didn't have that number in place for me. Here, I'll probably start doing the math right now just so that I have an idea. Probably keep it at the whole numbers. But it seems like 60 is probably going to be like one of the sweet spots, or even 65 actually. What is this right here? 60. Full TP right there, guys. If you take that as an A++ setup. So now I got to do the math for this. Um, 60. So 6 contracts. Oh, that's weird. It would have been at the same thing. Interesting. If I did 75. Hmm. Oh, it would have been less. Nice. Sam caught that as well. So Sam caught the sell right there. Nice work, Sam. So for 65, I'm just gonna be upping it by one contract size. So today's actually been a pretty good day. I think every entry today hit if you guys took anything that came up today. So if you guys have been following the live session for today, we had about, let's see, 5 entries that came up today, all full TPs. The contract sizes were a little different. So like early in the morning when market opened up, volatility was low, so it was a 50-50. This one over here is volatility picked up, so it was an 85-85. This one over here a little while ago was about cut early for about say 65 for that one because of the lower volatility. And the sessions, these two over here, the one prior was 75, and the one right now was 65. So you guys can see the strategy is working fine. It's just the adjustments have to be made to the ATR based on how fast the market's moving. I'm gonna try to do this one more time just to see where the number should be for 60. I'm just gonna have these numbers preset so tomorrow when I do take trades, I know exactly what to use. It's got to be 7, okay. So it's gonna be the same thing for 60. Lila said, "I've become a Simon Says kind of girl. When you move, I move. I'm not blowing any more accounts." Yeah, no, definitely, Lila. I feel like this week is more of we're using this week to really adapt to the market. That's kind of what I've been doing, right? I've been a little more disciplined this week, trying to figure out what the average ATR is. From what I've seen here from today, yesterday, and the day before, is that the average is kind of sitting between like 65 to 75. I think that's kind of where we're at. So I have the numbers in my little spreadsheet over here. So in the future, I can kind of shift it around a little bit. But yeah, so there's this entry over here was an MPSV2. You can see there was a sell signal, retracement, continuation right here, shot down to TP. And then this right here was an A++ setup because we had an engulfing V1 right there. So set up pretty nice. It's about to be 8 o'clock, guys, so I think this is going to be it for the day. We have some more team profits over here. So we got Tarek. He locked in the total profit of 1,240 for the day, just one trade. Nice work, Tarek, on catching that. And then we have Craig over here. Craig's first trade on his PA accounts. He locked in 1,076 per account, so a total profit of well over 4,000 for the day. Nice work, Craig. Yeah, great work, guys. You guys can see all the entries that I called out for today did hit. I didn't take anything myself because I was just, just trying to adapt to like these market conditions. Hopefully tomorrow the market will kind of be smooth like this again. We have PPI news tomorrow. So tomorrow we have one big news event, which is the PPI, Producer Price Index. I'm assuming it's going to be positive, it's looking like. So the core PPI, it's last month is 0.1, forecasted to be 0.3 this month. And then last month for PPI month over month, it was 0%, and forecasting to be 0.2. So hopefully this will be good for the market. And maybe we can catch a couple more entries tomorrow that will balance out for this week. But yeah, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, it's about to be 8 o'clock. That's my cutoff for trading. And you can see here that the market is starting to drop even further. So if you guys do continue trading, I do highly recommend you have like CNBC open somewhere, because if you guys remember yesterday, there was breaking news at like 9 or 10 o'clock. And then that caused the market to pretty much skyrocket. We got some more breaking news right here. It says Trump tariffs on China now total 145%. White House clarifies. Yeah, update right there. Amazon CEO says sellers could raise prices due to tariffs. See that? Yeah, so I mean, this tariff news is probably going to continue affecting us over the next couple months, but we'll adapt to it. I mean, there's no need to be afraid in the market. Like we're adapting to it right now. We're starting to figure out what the average ATR is. It's no longer 30-30, so the days of 30-30 TP stop losses are long gone. We're probably going to be around like 65 to like 75 moving forward. So yeah, Sam's laughing at the tariff news. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think eventually China is going to, I think they're going to negotiate with Trump, of course. This tariff trade war is not going to go on forever. It's going to balance out eventually. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. It's 8 o'clock. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, pretty great day so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 entries. I'll take a screenshot of this real quick and I'll just post it up in the chat that you guys can see. What came up. So live session, all TPs. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do this a little more. I haven't really been following with the markups. I've been kind of forgetting to put them on there, but I'll try to remember as we continue to look at these sessions moving forward. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I have 2 mentoring sessions today. They're both for beginners. So if you guys want to sit in on that, there's going to be one session at 2 o'clock and then one session at 4 o'clock. Both straight beginner sessions. So if you guys want to see like how I mentor people from like A to Z, this will be like the first session where we cover pretty much all the platforms, how to do things, basics of the strategy, and stuff like that. And if it's something you're interested in, feel free to let me know. I have a few slots open for mentorship one-on-one for this month. Otherwise, we're pretty much stacked. I have a lot of people who are on waitlist already. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here at 2 o'clock for the mentoring session. If not, I'll see you guys here tomorrow.